I believe him. I can't, am I 100% that this was a flying saucer or aliens? No, but it just seems likely.
Was this 20 years ago?
This was, no, I don't think so.
Then the dude has a smartphone. He has a smartphone that can take high-resolution video and stills.
If you've spent any time in the UFO community, you've probably noticed one name that keeps coming up.
Professor Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
To millions, Tyson represents scientific thinking at its best. He spent decades explaining the universe and encouraging critical thinking.
You have never met someone at a place unless it was also at a time. And you have never met someone at a time unless it was also at a place.
But mention his name in UFO circles, and you'll find something very different.
You can look at their CV, and a resume, and you will realize that they haven't published a single scientific paper in recent history.
I don't like throwing shade, but like Neil deGrasse Tyson, right?
Oh yeah.
He's made up his mind. I've read his tweets, and I'm like, dude, you have a PhD in physics? Where's your curiosity?
Many enthusiasts believe Tyson didn't simply remain skeptical. They believe he dismissed one of the most significant mysteries of our time before giving the evidence a fair hearing.
There is no understanding of alien visits that has them only visit restricted Navy airspace to be picked up by pilots.
There's nothing controversial about skepticism. Science depends on it. Tyson has consistently argued that eyewitness testimony isn't enough and that scientists should follow evidence wherever it leads. At first glance, that's difficult to argue against.
Somebody sees lights flashing in the sky. They've never seen it before. They don't understand what it is. So they say, I don't know what it is. It must be aliens from outer space visiting from another planet. Well, if you don't know what it is, that's where your conversation should stop.
But critics argue the UFO discussion changed years ago. This wasn't about blurry photos anymore. It involved military pilots, radar operators, infrared sensors, and classified briefings. Commander David Fravor, a Navy pilot with thousands of flight hours, is scrambled to investigate an object radar has been tracking for days. Descending from over 80,000 feet to sea level in seconds. No visible engines, no exhaust, no aerodynamic surfaces that should keep it airborne at all.
What we see is this white tic-tac looking object just above the surface of the water, pointing north-south, and it's going north-south, east-west. It's just radically moving forward, back, left, right at will. And it's moving around the disturbance, the white water that we see.
Fravor sees it with his own eyes. His wingman sees it. Radar operators track it independently. Infrared sensors capture it on film. 4 separate systems, human eyes, radar, infrared, and a second aircraft. All reporting the same object, the same behavior, the same impossible physics. This is the part critics say gets lost. This wasn't one nervous witness in a dark field. It was trained military professionals, cross-verified by instruments on the record. And still, Tyson's public position barely moved.
So I'm just saying, if we were being visited, we'd have something better than fuzzy monochromatic video of objects that apparently reveal themselves only to Navy pilots.
Multiple sensors, multiple witnesses, and the response, critics argue, sounded a lot like the answer he gave to blurry photographs a decade earlier.
Where I dislike what people like him do is where they diminish the possibility through ridicule, because that's not science.
President Trump announced the release of the UFO files.
President Barack Obama talks UFOs.
Turning now to this, the Pentagon releasing a third batch of declassified UAP files.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries.
The conversation had changed. Whether people believe UFOs represented advanced technology or not, governments were taking the subject more seriously than ever before.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
To begin releasing government files relating to UFOs and unexplained aerial phenomena.
That shift is where the UFO community believes Tyson found himself behind the conversation.
Michio Kaku has publicly stated now that the preponderance of evidence is now, it leans in the direction of it being real.
Yeah, something's wildly off. This stuff is interesting enough that it should be attracting scientists.
Non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is not new, and it's been ongoing.
You've seen evidence. Like, what kind of evidence have you seen?
So I was in a skiff, and I can't discuss all that was in a skiff, but what I can tell you is based on the photos that I've seen, I'm very confident that there's things out there that have not been created by mankind.
As more whistleblowers, military officials, and researchers stepped forward with extraordinary claims about UFOs, the conversation began to shift. What was once considered fringe was increasingly being discussed by credible figures, and for the first time, Neil deGrasse Tyson seemed to be behind the curve, which has led him to take the subject more seriously, and he started weighing in on the phenomena on multiple podcasts.
When I saw these whistleblowers, former intelligence officers, former military folk, I said, all right, it's time to jump in.
His critics saw this as a pattern, engaging with controversial scientific questions only after they had become culturally acceptable, leading some to accuse him of being less of a pioneering scientist and more of a scientist who follows public interest.
Now, what does it mean? It means that they're trying to be popular. The only way for them to be popular is to stay out of any controversial topics and represent what the popular view is among scientists. So basically, when they see the wind blowing in one direction, they would justify that direction.
Whether you agree with Tyson's perspective or that of his critics, one thing is certain. Science doesn't advance by believing every extraordinary claim. But it doesn't advance by refusing to ask extraordinary questions either. Progress begins where curiosity meets evidence.